All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for attending our SMB training. Okay. So it was a delight to share with you what I've learned last 2 weeks ago was about insulin resistance and GLP-1. So today we will go into a very interesting angle. All right. We'll be tackling drugs. And I think we never really explore into detail exactly how does a GLP-1 drug were to work in the person. All right. Even though we know about its effect, but how exactly it works and ultimately how it will um, compare to the effect of food. And of course, with food, is it able to compete in terms of performance, effectiveness, and safety? So I think this is a very important conversation that we are going to have today. And whatever that Unicity has, it's going to open a path for you to start a very interesting conversation, with the people around you and how they can better optimize their metabolic health. All right, so give me a moment as I share my screen. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so continuing from our previous session, so the whole umbrella about insulin resistance is influenced by these 4 pillars, which is GLP-1, nutrient balance, hormonal balance, vitamin and minerals. And of course, all these things will come in play with insulin resistance and how this will then reflect our sugar levels, cholesterol, blood pressure, and our body weight fat percentage. So of course, the current direction now is very much focused on GLP-1. Okay, occasionally we will revisit the remaining 3 pillars, but because of how GLP-1 is now taking over the wellness space, I think a lot of education is needed. And if we all have the right understanding about it, it can really make us and give us the upper hand, all right, in how to better speak more about this really critical nutrient for our body. All right. So of course we have to talk about this, right? What made GLP-1 blow up? GLP-1 has been around for like 10 years really. Okay, if we trace back history, okay, it's not a new thing that's being found out, but it was because of the rapid development of all these medications and how it can help people who have difficulty in managing their sugar levels. Okay, so from there, after that, okay, unknowingly, it bring about a lot of physical changes as well. And it's pretty recent, okay, that we have been hearing lots of celebrities talking about it. And almost every other day, you will see a celebrity taking GLP-1. Okay, so one of the most famous and now an endorser of GLP-1 medication is Miss Oprah Winfrey herself. Okay, she have also admitted that she has a long history struggling with weight loss, and at one time she was against medication, but now she realized how it helped her. She is a huge advocate for it, and now she is also thinking of ways to incorporate this into her own program, okay, which is called Weight Watchers, right? And next is Kelly Clarkson. Okay, so this is Kelly Clarkson in 2017, 2018. So you know she has struggled with her weight already. And it's only this year, okay, she suddenly in a span of 3 months or 4 months, she like every month she dropped about 5 kg. And she dropped a size every other month, to be precise. Okay. So usually if you see someone suddenly shrinking so much and in just a few months, you know very likely there is a medication there. So of course she don't want to admit what drug she's taking, but very likely it is in the same class. Okay, so what exactly caused that can lead such a drastic, change in people? Okay, so let's look at the results with GLP-1, okay? So this is what we're calling about body weight change in percentage, and this is the control group. Okay, those who are not taking any drug. So this is those who are on GLP-1 medication. Okay, so we can see the percentage, okay, of decline. So you just decrease in body weight, okay, you just go down, okay, and it goes down all the way till the more than 1 year actually, in fact. Okay, so on the this is weeks, I believe, right? So it keeps going down, 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 and you can see that the body percentage actually go down about close to 17%, okay, in a year. So if you look at the change in percentage from baseline, okay, so this is roughly just giving you a better visual of how much weight can be lost. Okay, if you look at the bar chart, okay, these are for those who are all participant, and if you are adherent, actually your weight, okay, in which you decrease is even more semaglutide, and control group is very little. So this is a very apparent and a very clear distinction about how effective it is in weight loss. And this kind of percentage is very big. So 60% is a lot, you know. If you're talking about somebody who is like, 60 kg, 10% is already 6, right? So 15 is close to 10 kg of weight loss in a matter of a year. And you keep dropping, right? So of course, this is the reason why many it has a lot of attention, and people are all, they are not taking they are not taking GLP-1 because of sugar. It's really because they take off label. Okay, doctor didn't prescribe, but they take it because they want to lose weight. So drug maker N, this is actually a very big drug company, said that 25,000 people are starting injectables every week in the US alone. Every week, okay, there are 25,000 people in US alone. Okay, we're not even talking about Malaysia or Singapore or the global statistic. Okay, but if you look at globally, it's easily like, I don't know, 100 over 1,000, it could be more. All right, Europe. So this shows that, the popularity of GLP-1 is just continue to increase. So of course, we have to make a very clear distinction here. What is the difference between nature and drug? Okay, are they the same thing, even though they have the same name, which is called GLP-1? So in nature, which in our body produces natural GLP-1 in the gut. But drug is man-made. Okay, remember this. Drug is man-made, and they modify the natural GLP-1. They basically take out some molecules from the natural GLP-1 and they introduce another protein. So it's like mimics GLP-1, but it's not. So the main reason why drug has to do some modification is because there will be enzyme in our body called DDP4 that will degrade our GLP-1. So the lifespan of our GLP is actually very short. Okay, but for drug, they purposely change the molecule so that enzyme will not degrade this. And the purpose is that so it will stay in the bloodstream and different organs for a much more prolonged period of time. So why is this important? Okay, like I said, nature is 2 to 4 minutes. But for drug, it stays 5 to 10 days. Okay, so now you can see the big difference, right? 2 to 4 minutes to 5 to 10 days is a big difference, and they don't really degrade. They will only just pass out from the body. So it takes a much longer time. So nature, GLP-1 will only be produced when food is released. Okay, when you eat something, then only our body will produce GLP-1. But for drug, it's not. Okay, once you inject, there will be GLP-1 and it will stay in your bloodstream the whole time and your whole body. Okay, and it will not trigger the gut to produce GLP-1. Okay, it's an external source, and natural GLP-1 can only be triggered by food, right? So why does drug has to go to such extreme measure to prevent its degradation? Okay, because there are a few target organs, all right, that we will target on. So this is regardless of nature or drug. Okay, basically, GLP-1 acts similarly to all four of these organ sites. So number one is insulin. Okay, and this is a very, is a very important reason. Okay, the more GLP-1 you have, basically, it's like a helper to your insulin hormone. So the more GLP-1 you have in your bloodstream, okay, it can help to signal the action of insulin a lot quicker in the pancreas. It makes your body more insulin sensitive, and it And everything is just much faster. It's like adding a turbo into your body. Okay, so insulin gets metabolized faster, it gets ushered in a lot faster and things like that. So it's a lot more advantageous and it's very helpful for those who have problems metabolizing sugar. Those that have high sugar problems, okay, GLP-1 actually helps them a lot. And it also signals the stomach, okay, it will delay food digestion. So this is the purpose of GLP-1. It's supposed to make you feel full. So if you are full in 3 to 4 hours, it's actually GLP-1's effect. It's supposed to not make you hungry. Okay, and not just only it makes your food stay longer in your stomach, it stops there. It also triggers your brain to not crave food as much. So because of that, it will naturally help you to control food portion size so you don't eat more than you need to. And ultimately, it will lead to improving your metabolic indicators like sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, okay, and the like. And of course, significantly is the weight control parameter. Okay, so you can imagine, right? What happens when drug, okay, when this effect is amplified through man-made methods. So of course, these are a few key points that last 5 to 10 days, and not just only the duration. Injectables or medication have 10 to 11 times more GLP-1 compared to normal human body production. So how would this then influence the many other organs in our body? Okay, so the number one very crucial point is that it will significantly delay the stomach from digesting food. So this is, the picture of what I show you. Typically, our body takes 3 to 4 hours. This is very normal. Food will move out from our stomach. Okay, and this is a God-made process. But what GLP-1 does is that it distorts this natural thing, is because it wants to help you to control your urge to eat. So it will stop the normal peristalsis movement of your stomach. It will make it freeze. Okay, so it won't move. So this process is prolonged in an additional 1 to 2 hours. So those who are on GLP-1 medication, generally they don't think about food that much. Okay, and for them, I spoke to 1 or 2 people who are on this medication. They say they just don't really think about food. Okay, and maybe just once a day or twice a day, because the food, they just say that they are full. They keep saying that they're very full because the food keeps staying in their stomach. And in certain cases, the food can still be there after a few days, right? So this is where people will start to feel a bit uncomfortable, right? Because imagine if you have food stuck in your stomach for 5 days, 3 days sometimes, okay? Of course, you don't feel like eating, right? It's so bloated, so gassy, and you can see this illustration, right? This is kind of a feeling that it will bring your body. So of course, a common side effect is nausea, vomiting, digestive issue, constipation, or diarrhea. You can have one of these 2 things. Either your body will get really sensitive or will just stop there, which you will have constipation issues. And in severe cases, it can lead to gastroparesis, which is the paralysis of the stomach, where even though you are not on any GLP-1 medication, your body will just forget how to move really because it's stunted there for a long time. So after even though the drug is off, your body just don't know how to move anymore. The stomach just stay like that. So it's a big problem now. Okay, you keep having a lot of diarrhea and nausea issues. Okay, so we talked about how it influences the stomach, which is quite a big side effect actually. So how it does then impact our brain. So your appetite for food will drastically decrease naturally, right? You just don't really feel like eating, even though you used to be a food lover. Okay, you just lost interest in food. Individuals who are on it, they just feel like, they just don't want to eat. Okay, naturally, they just lost the love of food. And because of this, what GLP-1 does is it's still the same thing. Okay, it's calorie in and calorie out in a sense that because you don't feel like eating, so you reduce your portion size. So for those who are on this, like I said just now, they used to think about food maybe 3 to 4 times a day as an estimate. Okay, you think in the morning, afternoon, night. So now they maybe just think once a day or twice a day. That's it. Okay. And food portion also drastically decreased. So for 3 pieces of pizza, which you used to eat, now maybe just 1 slice, then you feel, oh, I'm full already. And okay, this is what I more drastically, which I've heard personally. She said she only have a few spoonful of rice and some vegetable and meat. I'm full already. You say, well, even though I have a lot of food here, I can eat. So what for? Why do I even want to eat? You know? So the conversation about food change a lot. Okay, once you're on GLP-1, that you just don't eat. I mean, it's a bit of a malnourishment, right? Sense because you're eating very little. So although these drugs do work and should be used for the right reasons, we just want to caution everyone. Okay, this is from CNN. Be prepared that you will have a 30% chance that you may have GI side effects, and then the drug may have to be discontinued. Okay, this is actually one of a keynote in this area. He's a professor in the area of GLP-1 medication. So he himself also warned that there is a 30% chance that you may have side effects. And a lot of all these reports are actually not being publicized. People don't talk about it. You always see the positive, okay, the weight loss, but you do not know what happened behind the scene, right? There are some controversial things that are just not being widely publicized. Okay, and that's just one side of the side effect. Okay, significant loss of lean mass. Okay, this is a huge one. That many of them, when they lose the weight, is true, and it's great that they lose it, but 40% of weight loss is from lean mass. And the thing about losing protein or losing your muscle, it's easy to lose, but it's very hard to gain back. It's opposite with fat. Fat is very hard to lose, but very easy to gain back. So it just distorts the normal way of how our body were to metabolize. Okay, it burns off our muscle instead, which is supposed to be good. And this is very harmful for those who are above 60. Okay, those who are in the middle age where they themselves are really struggling with muscle mass and they lose some more. So this is actually potentially a very big side effect. And it's very difficult to gain back muscle. Okay, so this is the weight after GLP-1 medication. So usually people will not be on GLP-1 medication for a long time. At most, maybe just 1 year or 2 years. Okay, because it's just it's very expensive and not something very normal to do for such a long period of time. Okay, so we can see that this is 68 weeks, which is a bit more than 1 year. So we can see, okay, this is control group, right? So control group, of course, not much change, but you look at that, okay, no doubt they go down a lot. But once they are off the medication, okay, the weight just kind of go up. The next year, next following year, it's kind of go back to like how it was before. So even though you are so susa, never eat for like 1 year, in the end, you still go back to square one, right? Okay, it shows that this person regained back 11, sorry, it's not 11 kg. Yeah, sorry, this part is 11 kg. Okay, regained back 11 kg after stopping the medication. And regain mostly fat mass and not muscle. I think this is a sad part, okay? After going through all that difficulty, okay, not eating, sacrificing food, and all that kind of things, spending so much money, you actually gain back fat, which is the very one thing that you want to lose, right? So this is the sustainability part about drugs that you have to be very much aware of, because we're just going to gain back whatever that we get. So what's the point, right? So studies have also shown that once people stop taking, they regain most, if not all, of the weight they lost. And more frustrating is the fact that those who continue the drug eventually reach a plateau. The body seemingly stubbornly refuse to lose more weight. Okay? Essentially, our body stabilizes at a certain weight range, means it will actually stabilize. And once it exceeds the limit, okay, once you exceed it, your hunger hormone will come back, gets reactivated, and gradually starts to re-emerge. So this is the problem when those who are off the GLP-1 medication, their appetite come back once. Everything that you try to suppress will just come back with a vengeance. So they are eating and eating and eating and eating. So that's how you gain back all your weight, okay, after not taking the medication. So of course, we need to talk about this. Is GLP-1 bad or not? Okay, because I talked about all the side effects. But GLP-1 itself is actually not a bad thing. Okay, it's really not. It's something that is very important, especially in the area of metabolic health. Is it itself, if you talk about the natural GLP-1, it's actually very important. In fact, it shows to improve our sugar level, insulin sensitivity, and it protects our pancreatic cell. Okay, this normal and natural GLP-1 is something that a lot of people don't have enough of, especially those who have diabetes and obesity issue. So low GLP-1 is actually a factor to insulin resistance, and increasing GLP-1 is proven to be beneficial for metabolic health. Okay, medication is effective without a doubt, but it's bound to side effect and high cost. Okay, imagine, I don't know, US data is crazy lah. Okay, they say that wow, 1 month is 900 US dollar. So I don't know. Okay, Malaysian ringgit is about 800, so it could be a lot. It's a very high cost. Okay, and food. Okay, I'm going to talk shortly about food. Okay, since the conversation today is about drug versus nature anyway. There are food that can help to achieve desired result, but the lifespan is just too short. Because food itself, there is a limit. Okay, that's the reason why drugs want to prolong the inhibition of degradation, so it can stay longer in our body. Right? So is there an alternative, and how can we meet in the middle? So of course, drug is very effective. Okay, no doubt, but safety is questionable. Food, okay, later we're going to talk about it, also have its limitation, and it cannot give us the effect of increased GLP-1. Like, so where can we strike a balance in this? Okay, so that's where we're going to talk about the solution that will lead us there. So as of now, direct GLP-1 is only medication. Okay, so food, it's not. Okay, you have to go through your gut to produce GLP-1. So so far there is no route that can do that for us. Okay, so we look into food, right? What kind of food will trigger GLP-1 the most? You can make a smart guess in your heart. Okay, you can have a smart guess, but I don't think it's that surprising. So protein is consistently found to improve and to increase the amount of GLP-1 in the body. Okay, surprisingly, it's pretty consistent in fasted conditions. So even if you eat protein, okay, then when it's time for you to fast, it actually improves your GLP-1 level as you fast. So when it comes to carbs and fat, it's still in study, like their studies are still ongoing to measure exactly how the different nutrient influence this, and it's still a bit uncertain, but this is the current study stats right now. It changes, but I would say that protein is very consistent in the area of increasing GLP-1. So meal composed of higher amounts of protein stimulate GLP-1 substantially and are associated with reduced sugar spikes and enhanced satiety, right? So I think we're on the same page here. But there's a problem relying on food sources, okay? Because food sources is not, you don't eat a pure protein. Okay, many times when we eat food, right, we don't just eat protein. We always eat like rice, chicken, okay, and we eat like, definitely add oil, right? So the food itself mixed with a lot of different nutrients. You got carb, protein, and fat. So that actually makes it a little bit hard for our body to capitalize on the protein to increase that GLP-1. Okay, because of the mixed food composition, it will dilute the effect of GLP-1. So, I mean, you can go and eat whatever protein out there. Like, it's quite difficult unless you just eat pure protein, but, that's not very practical. Okay, but protein, in particular, whey protein may increase GLP-1 levels, which can help with satiety and insulin response. Okay, so very quickly, I'll talk about this. Okay, I don't know why I forgot to put the nutrient composition, but actually our Unicity LZ Vanilla is very good. So for those who want to add in a bit of protein to further increase your GLP-1 levels, you can try with this. We have 12 grams of pea protein. It's the combination of whey, pea protein, and plant-based protein, okay? And it has very little sugar, okay? And this is natural carbohydrate. So once you take this, it can directly help to improve and enhance that GLP-1 level compared to you taking other mixed food substance that may not give you that desired GLP-1 levels. Okay, so this is where whey protein can be quite useful and helpful for those who want to increase their muscle mass, their metabolic rate, and it can also have this additional boost in increasing our GLP-1. So this is, if you want to go into the food route, I think natural foods are quite difficult, but at least supplement can help to give us an edge to increase that in terms of our food. All right. So of course, that is an additional thing that we can include in our diet. But this is where Feel Great can really help to bridge the gap. Okay. We also use food substance, of course, but food is a very little amount. What we have in Feel Great, okay, we help to condense, purify, and to make it a concentrated amount of nutrients that can give us that boost of GLP-1. Because food, the concentration of protein or even the concentration of uh, active ingredients is very little. They cannot stimulate the kind of increment in our GLP-1 levels. Okay, so we need to have something in the middle, which is supplements. Okay, it's safe, okay, and it helps to also cover different timing in the day, okay, which is eating time and our fasting time for all-rounder GLP-1 support. All right, so we're going to go into this. So if food cannot provide a substantial GLP-1 increase, so what to do if I have to eat, okay, which is all these things that we usually eat on a daily basis. So we have to be able to tackle this, okay, if not, then it's going to be very difficult for us to increase our GLP-1 levels. So how is GLP-1 produced naturally? So it's in a gut, and this very unique part, which is called the L cell. And 80 to 90% of our GLP-1 is produced precisely in this specialized L cell. Okay, so we have to trigger this thing. So, okay, so we want to have Feel Great concentrated amount that can stimulate the right amount of GLP-1 in our body. Okay, so BioSlife S, we have something that can help increase that for during your eating window. Okay, so study shows that, okay, our study highlights the importance of how BioSlife S can increase the L cell secretion of GLP-1 in our body. So if we look into food or nutrients in particular, short chain fatty acid is actually one of the most well-studied one. Okay, apart from yerba mate, protein, and short chain fatty acid. Okay, this is quite consistent. All right. Many studies shows the same kind of effect about how it increases GLP-1. So BioSlife S, we have 6 different fiber types, okay, that we have extracted and we selected the best formulation that can bring about the fermentation process that will produce short chain fatty acid. Okay, you cannot eat this directly. You must always go through a kind of fiber that it has to go through this fermentation to produce SCFA. All right, so okay, it will just signal the L cell to release more GLP-1 into our bloodstream. The gut will then switch on the GLP-1 signal in the brain. Okay, in some ways, it's similar like how the drug would act. Okay, it act on the gut and also the brain. And by the way, not all fiber can do that for us. Okay, it has to be fiber that our bacteria can digest, which is it can do is fermentation. So it has to be soluble fiber. And for us, we have extracted 6 different types that can bring about that response in our body. And if you do not take BioSlife S, okay, or any kind of good quality soluble fiber, your GLP-1 will drop very quickly. Okay, the SCFA will drop very, very quickly in your body once you don't take this. Okay, so it's very important during the mealtime. We have to take this to enhance our GLP-1 levels for as long as possible. All right. So short chain fatty acid have many benefits to our body. And even though it's just a very small component, it may sound like it, but it actually have very pronounced effect in the different parts of our body, such as the pancreas, okay, it's protective. And it lowers fat accumulation, it increases fat burning, and increase muscle activity. Right? So don't look down on this BioSlife S fiber. It is not just any fiber. All right, it can bring about many significant effects on GLP-1 and also protect the many different organs in our body. Okay, so this is the effect about taking BioSlife S. This is if you don't take, and this is after you take, we can already see a very significant decrease in our blood sugar as we take BioSlife S. Okay, so for your fasting window, all right, and for the one that can increase your GLP-1 level is this yerba mate. All right, so yerba mate is also pretty well studied, I think, in the area of increasing GLP-1. It's very consistent. And our study have showed very promising results about how it can increase. This is a control group, right? It can increase up to 50%. Sorry, 75%, which is close to about double of the natural GLP-1 levels in our body. Okay, so for illustration, this is an example. If you take water, you only have maybe 2 GLP-1, but yerba mate can give us up to this amount. Okay, so it's close to double. So if we were to take more yerba mate, it can bring about even more significant effect and hence increase our GLP-1 even more. Okay, so this is result that's very fascinating, and we're not talking about any medication, because if you come to this kind food, it can tell you it's very difficult. Just relying on normal food. So we need to have something that's very potent. Okay, the saponins and chlorogenic acid. Okay, there's just some component about yerba mate that can just give us this kind of result. So this is quite a groundbreaking research from our end that we can show how by taking yerba mate, it can directly increase our GLP-1 levels. So it's encouraged to take even more if you can throughout the day. All right, so uni mate is the most potent and effective yerba mate. As you can see here, that we have the highest in terms of nutrition profile, the most concentrated, that has the best potency in every area, and we clearly outbid other commercial brand types, and I can say that we are really one of the best in the market that can really help to increase your GLP-1 levels. All right, so yeah, I'm coming very close to the end of the session. So this is what we are currently studying, all right? No feel great, this is how GLP-1 level is like. So there are, our scientists are actually working towards proving this hypothesis, where they say that we feel great, we can increase our baseline GLP-1 levels. Okay, so now this kind of effect can only be produced through drugs, all right, where they will increase 10 to 11 times your GLP-1 levels in the bloodstream, right? So now we are trying to look at how feel great can kind of give us that kind of effect. Of course, it will not be 10 to 11 times. Okay, that is just, that is not normal. But we want to encourage our body and teach our body through feel great to always to produce GLP-1 level at a much higher level than a normal person would. So if we are able to, we're studying this, and once this study is out, I think it's very significant. All right, it can prove that we are producing more GLP-1 on the baseline level. All right. So with Bars Life S and Uni Mate, it's the best combination so far, from what I know, that can increase our natural GLP-1 levels. Okay, so this is the best combination. In the supplement market, I think we are really one of the first few. It's a very green market at the moment. So I think we are very proud to be one of the first few that has results that can directly tackle this problem. It can really offer a lot of help for those who really need it in terms of metabolizing their sugar and their insulin levels. So in summary, okay, I know today has been quite intense in terms of the science, all right? It's a lot of information you have learned today. So let's summarize what we have learned. So number one, we have to establish that GLP-1 is not a bad thing, okay? I know there's a lot of drug in this kind of thing, but naturally, GLP-1 is very important. In fact, many people don't have enough of this, okay? And as we have learned last week, one of the reasons why people don't have, why people have diabetes is actually they don't have enough GLP-1, okay? And that would slowly lead them to have insulin resistance and that kind of thing. So we have to aim towards increasing this GLP-1 level more in our body. All right. So of course, medicine is very effective. Okay, we can see results in a matter of a month or a week itself. We can already see the result, but it's high in cost and it has a lot of side effects, and it's just not viable for long-term use. And food, currently food is quite difficult to increase, and you need there are only some specific nutrients that are tested to boost that level. And you need to have a concentrated amount that can deliver the kind of effect to us. So this is where supplements can bridge the gap for us. This is where it's very helpful. So like protein, for example, okay, whey protein is concentrated protein. Is you take more protein and you have very less of the other nutrients. But if you take from food, okay, it makes so many other things, so your body cannot really synthesize GLP-1 through pure protein. And of course, not to mention Bioslife S and Mate, both of them together are proven to be able to help increase our natural GLP-1 level. So Feel Great is, like I said, one of the first few approach ingredients that can directly link to increase GLP-1. And it's not that, definitely not as expensive as, okay, the drugs that's just crazy price and don't have the kind of side effect as well. So it's really the way we are looking forward. Okay, so Feel Great is your blueprint to metabolic health. And yeah, we are really in the forefront in this area. Okay, so we have come to the end of today's talk. So of course, very soon you can type in your questions if you have any questions. Okay, so before that, I want to introduce our upcoming training. So I am proud to say that we are getting better and better. Our training topics, there's just something to talk about, okay? In the area of GLP-1, there's a lot of things to explore, right? So in the 11th, we're going to talk about GLP-1 instructor. Okay, drum roll. Okay, because we have learned a lot about how to boost GLP-1 levels. Okay, for the past 2 months, we have explored a lot about that. So do you know there are actually things that impair, will actually disrupt your natural GLP-1? It's already so hard to increase GLP-1 levels, It's already so difficult. So there are other things that would even destroy this. So I think we need to be very aware, okay, to make sure that this precious GLP-1, we don't lose them, okay. So it's on the 11th of June next month. So stay tuned to this. This will be a Zoom session as usual. And on 25th, we will finally have our Singapore live event that we have not had for a while, right? So this is much anticipated, okay, because we will be introducing GLP-1. And I think a lot of you can bring your friends and family and those who are, very new to this. I think it could be very helpful for them. All right. And also, I would say that we're going to do, I think there'll be something quite special in this event. Okay. It's unlike anything we've seen before, I can say. And definitely you won't regret. It's better than any promotion. Okay. So make sure you come, all right, on the 25th of June if you're around Singapore. All right, so thank you very much. And now we are open to the time of Q&A. All right, so give me a moment. I shall look at your questions shortly. Okay, so so I want to speak to, there's a few people I want to talk about here. All right, so Mr. Sun Anfuan, yes. Okay, 2 Unimate 4S is good. Of course it's good. Why not? 2 Unimate 4S, I mean, if you have the budget for it, it's no problem, right? Okay, so S, I think the maximum amount that I see people take is about 3. And if they're really on a very big function event, if you eat a lot, then 4 is, is common for those who are going to be on a big meal. But of course, if you don't have any bloating issues, if taking 2 Unimate for you at one time is good and, financially okay, then no problem, right? Okay, go all out, man. This is very good for your GLP-1 levels, all right? Okay, so hi Claudia, taken Unimate and BLS consistently, how long it will take to see the results in glucose level? Okay, so of course, like I said, our products are not medication. So of course, you cannot expect it to, but it will actually be quite fast also one, Well, I have people who are able to see results in just a month. Or if those who are on continuous glucose monitoring or they do the check, they can actually see it, yeah, quite soon also. Like some people in 2 weeks, if they go and do the blood test or even instantly also they can see. So yeah, I think it really varies on individual, but confidently I can say within a month, but to see results at least 2 months, like you see consistent results, right? So you want to compare every week. I think 1 month is too short, like two months at least, you'll be able to see some form of result already. So I think, yeah, by 2 months, if you want to look at really stabilizing it, maybe 3 months, but about 2 months, you'll be able to see some form of changes. Okay? Sugar shouldn't be that big of an issue. You know, what happened to the questions? Looks like it disappeared. Wait. Uh, all right. What happened to the questions? I am looking for it. Okay, oh, here. Okay, suddenly it disappeared, right? So now I have to look at it again. All right, so what is the optimal amount of uni mate could use daily? So I would say you can go with two. I think two uni mate is actually pretty good already. But some people, if they can tolerate the extra kind of caffeine levels, some of them even go up to three. And I know of people that went up to three and their body is tolerating okay. Of course, the GLP-1 level is a lot more significant, that they really don't feel like eating at all. For those who take three, like totally don't feel like eating. So it really depends, but I think two is quite sufficient. Yeah, for now. Yeah, two uni mate is actually pretty good already. So I'm trying to trying to understand what I have learned today. So protein can help with GLP-1 production by the L cells during food consumption. Yes, actually it will. So of course, the protein, once we eat, right, it will trigger our L cell to produce more GLP-1. Interestingly, even though protein is something we eat during our eating window, it actually increases the GLP-1 levels when we fast, This is what study is saying. So I think it's quite interesting that like something that you eat during food can extend all the way until you're fasting, when you're in your fasted state. So it shows its very unique ability to cross over that eating window that it can surpass and even extend its benefit when you fast, which is quite amazing if you were to ask me. Okay. So I think this is something that's quite useful, and especially for those who are looking into really boosting their GLP-1 levels through food. So I think for now, whey protein is actually a pretty good way to tackle that. Yeah, because other food from like chicken and all that doesn't produce as good of a result compared to using whey protein. What are the 6 fiber types in BIOS S? Okay, you're testing my memory. I think if I remember, there's citrus pectin, there's beta-glucan, uh, there is oat fiber, there is, okay, you can look at the, you can look at the, yeah, there are 6 different types. I think there's a box here, right? If I'm not mistaken. Just look at the box behind here, okay? It's pretty clear that, okay, there are different aspects of fiber here. So there's guar, gum, citrus pectin, I said oat fiber, beta-glucan. Okay, I missed out locust bean gum arabic as well. So all these are the different type of fibers that's here that targeted to your heart, okay, biosphere, and also unicity cell nets. So you can look more into this, and yeah, that we have formulated specially to put into a concentrated form to increase that fermentation process in your body. Okay. If not mistaken, you said that corn is a disruptor in GLP-1. Did I say that? I don't think I've said that corn is a disruptor in GLP-1. I did not say that. So I didn't say anything about that. So I don't really know where it comes from. The topic of this is actually inflammation. So what I'm going to talk about is how inflammation can lead to disrupting our GLP-1. All right. So how? So you have to come at the 10 days 11. All right. Because this is a very new concept also, because I think people don't really understand this, and they don't even know that our GLP-1 can be disrupted. So make sure you come for this and you will explore more into inflammation, okay, and how it will affect our GLP-1. Okay, so hi Claudia, taken Unimate and Brasa consistently, how long it will? Okay, so very good. Someone helped to reply already. Okay, in the scope of 2 products, one practice, would it be accurate to say that chlorogenic acid and Unimate are the bigger factor for GLP-1 production, then followed by short-chain fatty acid from Life S? Okay, of course I can't say that because both of them serve its purpose. One of them is to help us during our meal time. And there are a lot of studies that talk about GLP-1, talks about how short-chain fatty acid influences of GLP-1. But of course, you're talking about more direct result that what we have tested is really muscle lah. So that's the reason why we also encourage people who want to improve, elevate the GLP-1, they should take an extra really muscle. But that does not mean that they don't take the Biosaf S. Please, okay, I don't want people to have the wrong impression, because Biosaf S is very important, especially when we eat, because that's when our GLP-1 is like declining rapidly, okay? And of course, to cushion our sugar spike and things like that. So please don't abandon the Biosaf S, okay? And like soon on, okay, everybody should be taking 4 Biosaf S and 2 Yumi Mate, okay? Uh, so tandoori chicken, okay, this the tricky thing about this is that the food that we eat outside, they mix, there's a bit of flour everyone, right? Tandoori chicken, they could put some flour. And then they will also put this high oil, right? High fat content. So all these things will actually influence on, because they call it mixed composition food. It's not pure protein. So this is where it gets really tricky. Like it may not be able to fully increase the GLP-1, unlike whey protein. So this is where the complication comes when you eat true food, So now they're actually trying to test on different food, So I think it's under studies they are trying to find, okay? Not too sure if tandoori chicken is in their list now, right? But I'm sure they are investigating on other nutrients. Okay, so on the topic of macros on GLP-1, protein can help with GLP-1. How about fat? Fat can, but not all types of fat, by the way. So, okay, the thing is, studies now about this, about on fat is also still very robust. It's still very new, okay? Like I read, sometimes can be quite conflicting. One source say saturated fat is good. One source say it's not very good. But Dr. Bigman himself say that saturated fat actually help. Okay, like butter, for example, increase GLP-1. And monosaturated, which is like from plants itself, olive oil, okay, moderate, but the polyunsaturated, like our plant oil, our peanut oil, and things like that, doesn't increase. So it's like, he keep changing. He himself also say that it's something that's still quite robust. So in the area of carbs, especially fat, it's still ongoing study, but it's not as consistent as protein. So that's why he himself will say, okay, protein, okay, we were not, on other areas, still not quite firm up yet, but protein is still very consistent. So I have used this product for almost 1 year, but I don't have much changes in my weight, fats, and also metabolic age. I exercise a lot, but the weight and fats just stay the same for the longest time. Is there any way that we can address this? Okay, of course we can. All right. Now, of course, I do encourage Mr. Damon L to write into me, so we can actually discover a little bit more about your health background. You need to know, usually we need to do a more thorough check about your health background. How is your history in the past? Do you have any other factor? Okay, and you also look into your detoxification as well. Usually when you can do that, it can help to free up some of the information that could be disrupting our GLP-1 as well. So I would like to work with you on this, but one of the things that we will do when a person is on plateau, we do some changes. It could be in terms of the eating habits, the timing, maybe fasting is not working for you, or we want to go to 4-4-12, or maybe you need to increase your GLP-1. Okay, you can change by increasing your Yumi Mate. All right, just take another additional Yumi Mate and see how that works for you, or incorporate some protein to see how it works for you as well. So there are several recommendations that I can give it to you, but of course, I need to know your situation to give you a targeted advice. So I encourage you to write into me. So yeah, sure. So Mr. Kelly, you can for a link you on email with me. Yeah, I'll love to know more about your situation. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. I think I really enjoyed myself as I talked with you today. So hope you have learned a new thing or two about GLP-1 and how we can improve that in our body. So stay tuned to our next session on the 11th. And of course, if you're in Singapore, please come to our physical event. Okay, I promise it's going to be one of the best sessions that you have ever attended. Okay, in a while. All right, so thank you, everybody, and have a good evening. See you around. Bye.